A woman meets two men. Both are attractive in different ways. One carries charm that feels magnetic, the other carries depth that feels steady. She feels a pull towards both, but the decision she makes in the quiet space of her mind will change everything. What guides this choice? Is it logic, or something far darker and hidden beneath her awareness? When a woman decides between two men, she does not simply compare their looks or words. Her brain begins a silent war. Signals of safety, dominance, intelligence, and empathy all battle inside her nervous system. Within minutes, she begins to sense who will protect her and who may betray her, who excites her and who steadies her. Psychology shows us that this decision is rarely conscious. It is the shadow part of her mind, shaped by evolution, childhood, and hidden fears. Men often think they are being judged on surface details, but what truly decides her choice runs far deeper. She is choosing between two possible futures, and her subconscious whispers which one feels safer, stronger, or more alive. The first spark begins before words are even spoken. A woman's eyes land on two men, and instantly her nervous system reacts. Her pupils may widen, her heartbeat may shift, and a faint calculation begins behind her awareness. She does not tell herself, "I will compare them now." It simply happens. Attraction does not ask for permission. It strikes, it pulls, it confuses. The human brain is wired to scan faces, voices, and body movements in less than a second, and within this moment, impressions are already formed. For women, this first spark is not only about beauty. It is about energy. One man may walk into the room with sharp shoulders and a steady gaze that signals control. The other may carry warmth in his smile, a softness that feels welcoming. Both are attractive, but in very different ways. Her subconscious begins to record these details like a silent judge. Every flicker of expression, every gesture, every tone of voice is being measured. What makes this moment powerful is that it feels natural to her. She might not even realize she has already started to prefer one man over the other. Evolution has trained her mind to notice tiny signals: strength, health, confidence, empathy. These signals once meant survival. Long ago, choosing the wrong partner could mean danger for herself and her children. Even today, in a modern world, the echoes of those ancient instincts still live inside her. Men often believe that they must say the perfect words to win interest, but the first spark is already at work before sentences are complete. The tilt of his head, the calmness in his breathing, the way he takes space or respects boundaries, all of it becomes data in her internal system. She does not consciously add points to a list, yet her body reacts as if keeping score. Consider how different this plays out depending on context. In a social setting, if one man greets her with ease while the other hesitates, her subconscious may already whisper that the confident one is stronger. But if his confidence feels forced or arrogant, her body may lean toward the quieter man, whose calmness feels safer. Neither man has explained himself, but already her heart and mind are shifting. Philosopher Nietzsche once wrote that every choice hides a value, even when we do not name it. In this first spark, she is already choosing which value her soul responds to. Is it energy that feels protective, or energy that feels exciting? Is it the mystery in one man's silence, or the assurance in the other's open words? This silent judgment sets the stage for everything that follows. By the end of these first moments, she may smile more toward one, hold eye contact longer, or feel herself comparing without knowing why. What began as two equal possibilities is already beginning to tilt. Once the spark is lit, the battle begins. It is not a loud battle of words or arguments, but a quiet storm within her nervous system. On one side stands the man who awakens excitement. His presence feels like fire, pulling her in, making her body react with adrenaline. On the other side stands the man who represents safety, a calm river where her soul feels it can rest. Both are attractive, but the weight of their appeal lies in two very different emotions. Excitement often feels irresistible. The man who carries mystery, boldness, or unpredictability can make her pulse race. He seems like a challenge, a puzzle waiting to be solved. In many cases, Women are drawn to such men because the thrill of uncertainty activates the same brain pathways as reward. It is the dopamine rush of possibility, the feeling that anything could happen. This type of attraction can feel like standing at the edge of a cliff, thrilling yet dangerous. But safety carries a power of its own. The man who radiates stability, reliability, and warmth touches a different part of her psychology. He feels like home, a figure she could lean on without fear of collapse. This is not a shallow desire for protection, but a deep biological instinct. Freud once suggested that love often mirrors our earliest relationships, and for many women, the sense of safety recalls the comfort of being cared for in childhood. The conflict arises when both men are attractive in their own ways. One represents passion, the other represents peace. She may find herself laughing with the bold one, yet breathing easier with the steady one. Her subconscious begins to weigh the risks. Will the exciting man burn too hot and leave her scorched? Will the safe man bore her, leaving her spirit craving more? This tug-of-war between thrill and stability is one of the oldest dramas in human behavior. Consider how this plays out in daily life. A woman may feel sparks with a man who texts unpredictably, showing affection one day and disappearing the next. The highs and lows make her feel alive, but also anxious. Another man may be consistent, always present, never leaving her guessing. She feels calm with him, but wonders if passion will fade. In truth, she is not just comparing men. She is comparing emotional worlds, testing which one matches her hidden needs. Carl Jung believed that we are drawn to what completes us, even if it destroys us. Sometimes women choose the fire because it awakens what they lack, even if it hurts. Other times they choose the calm river because it heals what life has broken. The decision between excitement and safety is never simple. It is an emotional trial that feels personal but is also written in the language of psychology. And as she continues to interact with both men, her subconscious gathers more evidence, preparing for the next stage of her decision. The choice between two men is never only about the present moment. It is a reflection of her past, a mirror of everything she has lived through. A woman does not walk into attraction as a blank page. She carries memories, wounds, and stories inside her, and these hidden forces shape how she feels about each man standing before her. When she looks at the exciting man, her mind may recall echoes of past lovers who made her feel alive but uncertain. If her history includes betrayal or abandonment, the thrill he provides might also stir hidden anxiety. She may find herself drawn to him but also afraid, as though history is repeating. At the same time, the safe man may remind her of figures from her childhood, perhaps a father who provided security, or perhaps one who failed to do so. If her early life lacked safety, she may find herself pulled toward the steady presence she always longed for. If her early life was stable but dull, she may crave the excitement she missed. This is why choices in love can feel so irrational. We are not only responding to the person in front of us, but also to the ghosts of our past. Freud wrote about repetition compulsion, the tendency to repeat patterns of pain until they are resolved. A woman may unconsciously choose a man who mirrors her childhood wounds, hoping to heal them, even if it means entering dangerous ground. The attraction may not make sense logically, but it feels deeply familiar. Consider how this looks in real life. A woman raised in chaos may feel strangely comfortable with a man who brings unpredictability, even though it hurts her. She does not choose him because she loves pain, but because her nervous system recognizes the chaos as home. Another woman raised in a controlling environment may resist men who remind her of dominance, preferring gentleness instead. In each case, her choice is not just about preference. It is about survival strategies learned long ago. Carl Jung often spoke of their shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves that we avoid but cannot escape. When a woman chooses between two men, she is also choosing how to face her shadow. One man may awaken her fears, the other may soothe them. Sometimes she chooses the fear because it feels more alive. Sometimes she chooses the calm because it feels healing. And sometimes, she chooses wrongly, only to repeat cycles that leave her searching once more. What appears on the surface as a simple choice, between two attractive men, is in truth a reenactment of her life story. Each decision is colored by her deepest memories, the unspoken chapters of her childhood, and the wounds she carries. The past whispers through the present, and her choice reflects not only who she is now, but who she has always been. As her mind compares the two men further, another dimension begins to shape her decision: power and emotional depth. Human beings are not only drawn to physical attraction but also to invisible signals of influence and inner strength. A man's status, whether social or psychological, can weigh heavily in her judgment, but so does the depth of his emotions. The tension between these two forces becomes another silent battlefield. Power has always carried an undeniable pull. From an evolutionary view, women were drawn to men who could provide resources, protection, and stability. In modern society, this power might not always be physical; it may show as financial security, confidence, or leadership. The man who radiates control of his life often seems like he can also guide hers. He stands taller, speaks with certainty, and moves with the assurance of someone who knows his value. To her subconscious, he signals safety through dominance. But power alone is rarely enough. A man may have status, wealth, or influence, yet still feel emotionally unreachable. If she cannot sense emotional depth in him, he begins to feel like a fortress, impressive on the outside, but empty within. That is when the other man, perhaps less powerful in appearance, begins to shine. His ability to listen, to show empathy, to reveal his own vulnerability signals something just as important as strength: the capacity to connect. Consider this: one man takes her to an expensive restaurant, impresses her with confidence, and pays the bill without hesitation. The other man sits with her in a quiet place, listens to her fears, and shares his own. One represents external power, the other represents internal depth. Both are valuable, both are attractive, but they awaken different instincts. Her mind begins to ask, which man offers the kind of bond that will matter more in the long journey of life? Psychologists have long argued that women do not simply seek the strongest man, but the one who can balance strength with care. Nietzsche once wrote that love is not only the desire to possess but also the desire to create together. A man with power alone may offer possession, but a man with depth offers creation, a life of shared meaning. Still, the temptation of power cannot be ignored. It signals security in a dangerous world, and her subconscious respects that. Yet, when a man's emotional emptiness becomes clear, the cost of that security may feel too high. On the other hand, choosing depth without power may feel beautiful but fragile, like a candle burning in the wind. This is why the choice feels heavy. It is not only about which man excites her, or which man soothes her. It is about which man represents a future she can live with, a future built on the balance of strength and connection. By now her subconscious has gathered every signal, every glance, every moment of silence. The decision is almost complete, though she may not realize it. She has weighed excitement against safety, revisited the shadows of her past, measured power against depth, and now the quiet truth begins to settle. One man will be chosen. The other will be left behind. The decision itself may not be spoken, but it already lives in her body. She may smile more naturally with one, lean closer, or allow her guard to fall just slightly. With the other, she may create distance, even if her words remain polite. The silent decision is rarely a dramatic announcement. It is often a whisper, a shift of energy, a private recognition that she has chosen her direction. This is why many men are confused, believing they are still competing, while in her mind the competition is already over. The psychology behind this final choice is complex but precise. Humans are wired to trust their first deep impressions, even when evidence later suggests otherwise. Once her subconscious assigns one man as the safer or more fulfilling option, everything that follows will be interpreted through that lens. If she has already felt trust with him, his mistakes will appear smaller. If she has already felt doubt with the other, his strengths will appear weaker. The first chapters of their connection write the rest of the story. But this silent decision is not only about logic or instinct. It is about identity. A woman chooses the man who feels aligned with the version of herself she wishes to become. If she longs for adventure, she may choose the fire, even if it burns her. If she longs for peace, she may choose the river, even if it flows more slowly. Each decision reflects not only her needs but also her hopes, fears, and unspoken dreams. Consider the weight of this. One man may walk away wondering why she lost interest, never knowing that it was decided long before he realized. The other may gain her heart without understanding the full depth of why she trusted him. These decisions are not always fair, not always logical, but they are deeply human. We are creatures of instinct wrapped in stories, carrying memories that decide before our mouths speak. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." In love, this truth is brutal. Women often feel they are simply following their hearts, but what they are truly following is a complex system of instincts, shadows, and silent judgments. Fate, in this sense, is psychology in disguise. And so the choice is made, quietly, often without ceremony. Two men stood before her, but only one matched her hidden map of desire and survival. Attraction may have begun as a spark, but the decision ends as a sentence written in silence.